with 7 Lake Snowmobile Club. How you doing this evening?
What we want to ask you is permission to repair a class 6 road. If you know, Ken, I think it's corridor 19, where it comes from parallel there, that one through the road. Tremendous washing.
Coming down onto Valley Ridge,
Well, halfway down. Halfway down
on
that,
the left side, if you're going towards the, under the nut line, left side, is what you're calling from.
if you, where we cross at the bottom of Bella's Ridge.
It's Putnam, the Leighton Corner.
Well, not even up by Yellow. Oh, okay, come up there. Now come back down towards where the clubhouse is, down towards East Wakefield. Halfway down the hill.
Okay,
I'll get on that, I'll show you.
I'm sure. You're talking right where Brian's dirt, where you have to cross where the lake is?
They're up here on Lincoln's Corner, right?
Yeah.
Guess where we cross down below
Oh,
with Brian.
Yeah.
And cross over Valley Ridge Road. Right up here. There's 2 trails up here that come down into snowmobile trails that Pine Road Pond, between the 2 D trails. It's just upwards of those, towards Spray Hill.
Yeah.
Now, I have some photographs here so you can look at and see the
Is that where the
washout.
rocks are quite heavily going up the hill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blackwood was in there about 5 or 6 years ago, and that held up well. Now, with between the heavy snowfall and the spring rains, it's washed it out. Makes it virtually impossible for us to take a groomer in. And I was thinking even on behalf of the fire department, getting the woods truck in there, forestry truck, impassable right now.
Tony, isn't that the family?
He's beyond
He's
ours.
beyond the family?
Ours comes right onto Ballard Ridge, and what he's doing is going up there. and
Going out to the
Going
corner.
up,
and
up,
then-
up the woods, up the hill.
Yeah, this is on quite an
Yeah.
incline,
Right.
and there's ledge in there, and there's not a lot of material to work with, so we gotta,
Why would we want him not to fix it, by all means?
Pardon?
I don't know why we would not
Well-
want him to fix it.
just as a formality, because it's your land, to come
Yeah,
before
no,
you,
that's
that's
awesome.
permission. We got a quote from a local contractor to put large stone in there and then top it off with smaller tail ends and make 4 or 5 water bars. You know, they're like swales diagonally across the trail to lead the water off before it gets running like a river.
What are we gonna do with the one up there by where it comes right on the corner of Ballard and Pine River? It seems like that's an awful washout right there. Coming right at the corner, the sharp
Right at the corner.
And a crossover right there, that seems like every year that's an awful bad
Yeah,
spot,
it is.
muddy spot. A lot of water comes down from that.
It
cut
does.
up there.
Right, when they logged up in there last year or so, right, that's another.
It's hard there.
And it's hard to do anything, because it's something that's all private land, and that landowner, from what I understand, lives down in Carolina or
You
something.
have to live there and you break it.
So how do you,
It goes straight up, straight down.
It may be.
we've got a number of problems, but this is the worst, and it's put us virtually out
This is
of commission now. We couldn't take out rumors or anything.
Yeah, no, I remember a lot of rocks going up there, so.
Right,
it's good.
and now it's,
This one's like that.
It's class 6.
so we want to address it now while we still have
I
time.
thought this was the town forest.
I don't think people want these.
I don't know, we can,
It's all set.
I'm all set with it.
Yeah.
You can have them.
Okay. Does anybody
No,
want the
thanks,
trail
sir.
map?
Thanks for asking. Glad you're doing it.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing for our sake, plus, like I say, if you ever had a woods fire up in there, you couldn't get in there.
Yep, I just recommend that you work with Acton Wakefield Watershed on some advice on, you guys are pretty good as far as the water bars and the detention and stuff like that, but any free advice from them is always good, especially when you're in sensitive areas.
So just contact them and
Yep.
ask.
Yep, they're right at-
Input.
They must have a link up our website, don't they? They should.
All right,
Yep,
sure, we can do that.
and they just work with your technical advice and give you some good ideas, hopefully.
Okay,
Good job.
all right, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Giving out free maps?
Yeah.
I should have brought a couple more, yeah.
Charlie got it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, good job.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks.
Next is Mr. Fournier.
I shared with Teresa last Friday.
Yep.
The upcoming complaint against the town, what will be filed. Still looking for a way to hopefully resolve this without the Superior Court costs, but
After the last meeting that I was at, I had mentioned to Teresa sending Middleton a letter to see if they would be willing to just talk about the situation, get together with their board and our board, see if they were willing to spend money on an attorney to look at how the steps to go through, or a survey. And she thought it best that the whole board gets together before we make that decision to contact Middleton. So I'm all for to see if Middleton wants to look at it, if they're interested in spending money to legally see the steps. So I think we're at a point now where it's too complicated for regular people to make a decision. I think we'd need legal advice to the process for it, whether we're spending it on a survey or a lawyer. It's somebody.
well, the thing is that the assessing card, the assessing map has been altered several times over the last 20 years. And I want to know why, because nobody can tell me why anything was done. The only thing that is explained is the first time in 1985 when the state took part of my land, or part of the land that went with that house. That is explained right on out. How the other changes are made is just unexplained. They just said, that's the way it is. And, you know, you as code enforcement officers, building inspectors, you know, if somebody come along and said, well, I'm gonna build a house with studs every 30 inches, you'd say, no, you're not, because that's just not the way it's done.
Yeah, they got the data from somewhere, somehow, best available data, and the tax map suggests that. They're not binding by any means, and...
No, but the law states that they have to be accurate.
Yeah.
They have to accurately represent each parcel of land in the town.
Teresa, didn't you say that we can't do anything legally anyway? Didn't you call,
Right.
it's called
And John knows
seeding?
that. Yeah, we contacted the gentleman at New Hampshire DOT, and we can't move his property to Middleton.
So we
without
can't even
court-
do that.
Court order stating that we can do that.
Well, you can revert back to your previous records. I mean, how did you
That's what he's
add
asking. He's,
0.22 acres to my land? You've got 0.46 on my tax card and 0.22. How did you add 0.22?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
So, you know, if you can add, you can go back and say, you know, this shouldn't have been added. And then when you do that, my house automatically goes to Middleton.
And we can't do that because of what you were saying correctly, correct? I mean,
I didn't ask the gentleman anything about the tax maps. I
Okay.
didn't know that was a situation. I asked him about where the markers were, you know, what those things on that map were, and when he was talking.
did you tell John what his
Yeah.
point mark was with the
Yeah.
telephone pole?
Yeah.
But it's no longer there.
Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I mean, there was a fence, there was a stone wall there too that's gone,
yeah.
you know. And after you looked at it, you could see where it was marked NET, but it was marked way away from the marker.
I think from the information that we had given you, you know, the changes were done by cartographics based on whatever they do for that type of work, whether it's flybys or GPS, I don't know. But I believe
In one
the
of those
survey
letters-
was sent to them, and
In one of those
They
letters, it
weren't
says
going
that
to
there are no
accept it.
GPS readings by cartographics.
right, so if it wasn't GPS, whatever,
Right.
but they, you know, it sounds like that survey, John's survey, has been sent to cartographics, and they interpret it a different way, so,
Then what
That's-
John interpreted.
than what
So
his,
they interpret it different, so How do we make a decision?
Well, somebody made the decision to add an extra quarter of an acre.
Yep. So and we don't know who did that?
No?
It was through cartographics when they did the new mapping. So when they did the new mapping back in '08 or '09, that's when and there was a lot of places that added or property
Subtract,
added
yeah.
or property,
Mapping technology
whether
got
you were
better.
down on the lake or whether you were up here in the village or wherever, based on whatever information that they used to determine that.
And I'm
I
sure
don't
that there's a
know.
lot of things that change with new technology being able to pinpoint things accurately compared to what they did back in the early day when they just walked around.
From tree to tree and big
So
tree to big
do
rock.
we set up a meeting with Middleton and?
We can send them a letter, see if they're interested in it. There's a new board up there from when we last met, there's a new board here, so you never know.
To see if they were willing to sit with all of us, or just us, and then figure out what we can do
Well,
to
we
help
open
John?
meetings, so.
I don't know if I should probably bring this up or not, but I'm gonna. I was talking to the old timers, who lived in Union, were born in Union, brought up in Union. And they said that Marty Eaton, who used to own that house, the big white house that was there, he used to always say, when he went to the front of the house, he was in Union. When he went to the back of the house, he was in Middleton. He used to comment on that all the time, and all of Union used to laugh at him. But nothing was ever done or anything. But, so even back then, there were questions. So I think we should meet with Middleton and see if we can't resolve this. If we can't resolve this
And it's
that way, then it's gotta go to court. That's, to me, the only thing left to do.
Because basically, if you meet with Middleton and you talk about who,
And they say they
where
don't
he,
want
and they
him.
don't, then you go to
Then-
court.
Poor John's got no place to go.
I'll just,
I can
I'll
tell
call
you, we
my
still
own
want you,
Middleton.
John, because we're putting up a fight to have you. That ought to make you feel at least wanted. You know, we are putting up a fight to keep you here.
well,
But
You
he
can't
doesn't
be all
want to
that
stay
bad.
here.
I think if we can get Middleton to jump on board and then solve it, I mean, that would be great, so it doesn't go to court, but I can,
We can
Yeah, I don't
assume
see-
Middleton probably doesn't want to spend any money to
I
rectify
can
it.
say.
And I think eventually, I'm still back to a survey, spray painting a line right across his lawn, or maybe through the house. And then we'll know where it is, in our survey's opinion, and then work with a preambulation from there.
Have we got any numbers for that?
15,
15,000 or so was back number, not since I've been, here, years ago.
But
numbers that-
can we do just where he is?
I think you have to go from point to point, basically.
And that's cost that much money to go from one point to another point?
Yeah, it's research in the deed, because you know this is going to possibly be in front of a judge at one time or another. So whoever's gonna research, it's gonna wanna follow
Every-
data that's already
yes.
done, making sure, and then there's gonna be discussion of a curve or an arc or a straight.
the only monument that is in contention is this one. The town agreed with number 2, they agreed with number 4. Now, it
That's
is,
not the one that's the telephone pole, is it? No.
no, it's just an X on here, there's no marker
Oh.
there. If it is, it was either removed or it's buried so far underground that we can't detect it with
Metal detector.
metal
I
detector.
want more than anything to solve this,
I,
but I can't just
right.
solve it.
So
I don't know.
I don't see why we don't have it just shot between number 2 and number 4,
That's what I
because it's
understand.
supposed to be a straight line of 6 degrees from number 2 to number 4.
And I'm agreeing if that's the case. That's what I'm saying, to keep the costs down for the town.
You know, it is not a straight line in the relationship to the magnetic stations, which is what is accepted in the state of New Hampshire at this time. So you have to use a compass and a sextant and poles and go along, and, you know, that's why it's,
Well, that's why I can't do that, and that's
Right.
why we might as well just bite the bullet and survey it and and be done.
Which would usually mean now we have to put it in this September's budget to do it next year. Unless there's
Right.
15,000 hanging around that the budget committee didn't
No.
find. Yeah. So, I mean, we talked about it before. I don't know if we ever made it to the budget committee with that
I don't,
discussion.
not since I've been here.
No, I don't think the board wanted to follow through with it.
What happens if the court orders the town to do it expediently?
Then we take the money from someone else.
We'd have to ask DRA, no, you'd have to ask DRA to
Yeah,
expend
and the
money
court,
out of
I can't
the,
imagine the court's gonna say that, you know, if there's no money, I mean, if you, I mean, you'd have to have it, you'd have to understand that, correct? You do understand that you have to have money to do something, right? So if I can't give you $10 to go shopping, you're gonna sit home, right? Well, if I can't give you 15,000 to survey this land, then we have to wait until that happens. You understand that?
Yeah, but what I have is a survey done by two
Oh, I hear you.
separate survey companies.
I'm with you, I
No, it's
understand.
not one surveyor that's an opinion.
I
It's the
understand.
opinion of two survey companies.
I do, I really do
And,
understand.
who's,
you
you
know.
have another survey, you mean?
No, the
Oh.
one that they did was done in conjunction with H.E. Bergeron up in Conway, New Hampshire, which I
And-
also
Oh, the one
did.
that
And
Jerry
the
did?
state
The one that
recommends,
Jerry did.
and the state says that the people that do it are very highly recommended, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, they've got to go through some kind of test and apprenticeship and
Oh, I'm sure that- I'm
everything
sure
else,
that-
and, you know, they're not gonna put their reputation on the line.
Just for
but-
California.
Right. Or for Middleton or
Yeah,
Wakefield.
Correct.
But, you know, I'm at this point where I've gotta move forward,
And I understand.
you know,
I'm
so.
just saying the best we can do right now is to try to get with Middleton, right? And then find out what that entitles,
What
and
they
he
wanna
just
do.
keeps continuing.
No,
and-
even if Middleton didn't want to do anything, we can go ahead with the surveyor or talk to the attorney to ask legal advice.
No, I've already presented everything to Middleton on
What do they
April
think?
28th.
They want you?
They're not gonna spend any money, because they don't even wanna spend money on legal fees, but they're gonna have to.
Nobody does.
And, you know, I gave you a copy of the rough draft of the complaint. We've got to fine tune it by adding in minutes of the
I
meetings.
did not
and-
give him that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't give him that.
And, you know, the GPS thing that was used to locate the markers is still not acceptable in the state of New Hampshire.
I could give that.
Well, I'm not, on my own opinion, I'm not doubting you one bit, okay? All I'm saying is, the law says that we can't give it to you, or we can't give it to Middleton, or we can't give it, we have to leave it alone. So we have to do something to keep continuing, and you know, what you're doing is fine with me. I hate to see you spend money, but we're gonna have to spend some too, so.
I mean, somebody added 1/4 acre to my tax card, and nobody is saying how it got there. It's a mystery. It, you know, and it changed, I can explain the change from 1978 to 1985 when they took, you know, I started out with like 0.65 acres in the town of Wakefield. The state took 0.22 or something like that. I dropped down to 0.46 acres. Cartographic said I had 0.46 acres. And then when they did their thing, they come up and they said, you know, you don't. They added 35 feet to my next door neighbor's house. They added it to state land. The house next door to me has a 70-foot frontage. I've got a signed document where the owner at the time of the garage was built said he had a 70-foot frontage.
But right now, by town law, your lot, town line is in front of your house.
Correct.
Okay.
And
So,
it either bisects my branch, the ramp, or puts
I
it
mean,
on.
but that's what the town, that's what it says now, so
This
we
is
have to figure.
approximately the house that was there.
Oh, there was another house on that land? You've moved the house back?
Yeah, car
That's
five,
right.
so we built behind
Car
it,
five.
which makes sense why he would be more in Middleton possibly.
And there was stairs coming down this way and stairs coming down this way, just like the pink house.
So did you build that house? Did you put this house?
I didn't put that house there, no.
Oh, okay.
Richard
So-
Tinker put the house there.
Did Richard Tinker want to live in Wakefield?
He applied for permits in Wakefield,
So he acknowledged he lived in Wakefield.
only because the house, the
Don't
existing
stutter him,
house,
I don't want you stuttering.
the existing house was definitely in Wakefield.
This one here.
Right.
But when he moved, obviously he moved the house back, which would give you an indication that he was trying to live in one of the towns.
I think he moved it behind the existing foundation. There was a foundation in
Right.
front,
He-
so
he-
so he just built behind on the flatter land.
Yeah.
They went by
That other
the
house was right
septic
near the edge.
design as to where the house had to be, because they had to have the septic design. And the septic is controlled by laws as to what you can, how far you can be and whatnot.
Since 1987, have you been paying Wakefield taxes?
I've been paying Wakefield taxes since I bought the house in '99,
Okay.
and I've been contesting it since 2002.
So you've lived there for 3 years and then contested it within 3 years.
Well, I contested it right away, but I really started pushing it
Did
with
you know it when you went and bought it?
Paul Morrow. No,
So it was
and
just,
I asked Paul Morrow many times.
what made you decide this? You just like to live in Middleton?
It's just where the house is. It's,
The taxes will be higher in Middleton,
I don't believe that.
you know?
No, because I believe the assessment value will be lower.
Oh, yeah, well.
Well, they're going to
It'll work out.
Kingswood soon, so.
Yeah, it'll work out this
It's
day.
gonna be,
Different county.
I mean, I'm just
Yeah, it is.
curious.
yep.
County tax is different.
I mean, I
So-
pay,
They
I've
got
got,
over there too, so.
you know, I've got 2.5 acres in Middleton. And my tax bill on those 2.5 acres are $130 a year
From Middleton,
from Middleton.
and what are they here? Much more than that?
600 and something for 3/4 of an acre with the house.
Just think
So
how much
it's
more
600 and
you-
something double. So it's $1,200 to the town here.
Just think how much more you could get for it if you sold out today. Huh?
Huh?
Living in Wakefield, think how much more you could get for it.
Well,
I can't, I can only sympathize with you, I understand.
Yeah.
So we'll,
Send Middleton a
Send
letter, see if
Middleton a
they
letter.
wanna come to a meeting.
and come to a meeting. You're welcome to come to that, I guess.
well, and I don't know if the lawyer sent you the letter of intent yet or not.
I don't.
I-
and,
So it'll probably be coming
I understand that.
soon. Because we have to give you 30-day notice before we can sue you.
I understand.
But, you know, we are gonna be requesting Stratford County Court, and not Carroll County, because we contend that the house is in Stratford County. So,
That's the
So
Google Earth
who-
with the tax maps overlaid on
So, no, who makes that decision? Does the judge
judge.
make that
The judge.
decision whether or not it's in
Whether
Stratford
it-
or Carroll?
What's the thing that says that the court already decided that it was
it. So
in
that's the
Wakefield?
the
I
house
mean,
right
how did
there.
that
That's
work?
the Wakefield.
no, he decided that I was a resident
But this
of
is why it
Wakefield
was.
because I voted here and registered my car here. But he does not have the authority to move the town line.
Huh,
And there was no
Yeah.
survey.
it's interesting. What's this?
He was going by the tax
That's
map
a big pond.
Oh,
that showed that the house was taxed in the
He's
town of
got ducks,
Wakefield.
he's always ducks in the
Um,
oh.
You know, so that
So if, would that be called like domain, if,
eminent domain.
eminent domain? I mean, he's been there for all this time, no matter what, if it, let's just say it was Middleton, wouldn't there an eminent domain be where he's been there for so long? New Hampshire still has that.
I doubt if you can
Line
look at
is.
the line.
Yeah, no, the line's where the line is.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to look
Call
down
it
the
what it
line.
is and-
It's a county line too.
Yeah, town, county.
County's-
Be on the
So
other side
why
of town.
isn't the
Let's get the
county?
county involved.
Why don't the county involved?
They
Yeah,
don't-
why don't they,
Get both counties involved.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, because the law specifies that the town has to do it, not
county
the
has
county.
to do it, not the county.
There is, I guess there's provisions if you got a township, then the county has to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the Middleton Wakefield line going up through. the house right there and the pond and as you're coming up around the corner.
So that's what Google Maps says?
Well, that's the tax maps laid onto it, yeah.
His
So,
house is clearly
Yep,
in
the question
Wakefield.
is, this line, is there an arc to it? Is it straight? Is it, how accurate is the assessing
Well,
maps?
it looks like it'd have to be at least 30 feet. His house is gonna be 25, 20, 30 feet wide, right?
Yeah.
20, I think it's 24.
All right, so
It's double wide,
that's
so it's
24
12.
feet that would have to move. Maybe that far off.
Well, it's the data that somebody's given them for what that line is. And if there's one inaccuracy, I'm sure every town has several of them, because it's just
So
where
we're
it's
just
always
gonna
been.
bite the bullet
Yeah.
and do it. Okay, John.
Okay, so a letter or no letter to
A letter to
Middleton?
Middleton to see if we can get somewhere there, but I guess we're gonna have to go to the plan, the budget and
See what a survey?
do the survey. Just
But John's still filing his papers with court, and we'll see where that
Oh,
goes to.
wait.
Right, and once he files those papers with court, really, the discussion with the board is,
It's done.
Done.
It's, you know.
just so you know.
so,
And have you already filed your papers
No.
with the court?
No, we haven't been notified yet.
Oh.
But it's, I gave Teresa a copy of the complaint.
so that means
It's all-
we don't talk about it anymore.
It's already in,
Yeah, that's how I was thinking.
Yeah.
If, once it's actually filed, it's with the intent.
But before that is done, if we meet with Middleton, before it's filed with the court, right? We can
And
meet
and
with
we're trying to
Middleton.
meet with Middleton.
Would Middleton
to see
have a
if Middleton would
different-
take,
Survey,
We-
would
they-
they actually
they
have
can't just-
their
Their
town
tax
maps,
maps.
their tax map that would,
Yeah, I'm sure he's looked at it.
have you looked at their tax map?
I have, Middleton has always taxed me for 3 acres.
Mhm.
I went up to their assessing office and I contested it. I says, I've got 3¼ acres. Wakefield is charging me for 75.75 acres, 3/4 of an acre. How can Middleton charge me for 3 acres when I've only got 3¼ They reduced theirs to 2½. With no justification whatsoever, other than the
Yeah.
fact that you increase yours, they reduce theirs,
Okay,
you know.
but have you seen their map? Like
Their
I just-
map shows-
Like I just looked?
I doubt they have the data like this. They're probably just a tax map without,
Yes, have
Yeah.
you seen the tax map?
Yeah.
And does that show your house in their town?
It doesn't show the house.
It doesn't show up.
It doesn't show the house.
Because they're only showing their
Well,
side
your
of the
tax map
land.
didn't show a house until, what, 19,
in the 90s, they picked up.
no, after that.
Started plotting,
It-
they
they-
started plotting the houses on the maps.
Yes, I think around 98 or 99, they started plotting
But they
houses.
must plot, they must have done their plotting, right? I would say.
The map that I saw hadn't had any plotting on it at that point.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. You know, the cartographics, the last cartographics contract was what, $40,000+? When supposedly they did their aerial photography and everything else, and, you know, in my opinion, it was wasted money because they have nothing to back up their opinion.
Have you got your land in Middleton in current use?
Yes,
That's why it's cheaper.
Good
Well,
point.
you can't do current use for less than 10 acres.
That's what I thought was fine, but yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's grandfathered as current use. It's, you know,
Yeah, yeah, so
Then
that's
through.
why, I mean, that makes a big difference. I know it does on our property.
yeah. But, you know,
And if that house went into that, that wouldn't be able to be current use.
that's fine with me. I mean, when I started this, my surveyor says, you know, you're not gonna have a choice where things are gonna fall. And I says, you know, because he warned me that, you know, if it comes out that where the house is, the house is.
What happens if it does? It's in Wakefield, are you gonna back up and go?
I'm pretty much packing up as we speak.
Then why would you waste your money?
It's a point. He's
I mean,
proving a point.
Yeah.
Proving a point.
I've got 45 acres in northern Maine with the same size house, an oversized 3-car garage, and a barn, And my taxes up there are cheaper than the combined taxes down here.
I thought you said at one meeting that you were gonna move to Maine.
Yeah.
That is. That's what I just said. I've got property in
Oh.
Maine that, you
But
know.
at one of the selectmen's meetings, when I was sitting out there.
Eventually, I'm going to move to Maine, but my wife still has time to go before retirement.
Oh, yeah.
I retired in January, which
Congratulations.
is why I picked up this fight again, because now I've got the time to meet with lawyers and surveyors and
Spend your retirement.
spend
Yeah,
my retirement.
yeah.
But, you know, it's a matter of, what's right is right, you know.
I agree.
um,
I'm just,
Oh, I
how
know.
much I can do that.
But I mean, you know, everybody's changing everything and nobody's saying, you know, well, this is why, because this marker is here or that marker is there, and, you know.
Well, it looks like we just gotta put it to rest, so let it go and do its process, right?
Sounds good, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Next is Jim Mello with Clearview TV.
There may have been a little miscommunication with that. Yeah, I thought it was coming in. We emailed back and forth. He was asking me if it can be increased and should it come
Yeah.
before the board. I just looked at my email and it said, yes, I would say that it needs to be approved before the board since it is coming out of that fund. And then I just got an email from Jim that says, when can I get on the agenda? So it's up to you. If you want to wait and I can put it back on the agenda, you can talk to him about it, or if you know kind of what you want to do.
I think he's quite capable of handling it.
It's bringing the pay rate up to the videographers up to $10 an hour to increase the amount. And I've said it all the time, I'd love to see him at the Babe Ruth games, the T-ball games, everything. I'd love to see as many people out there videotaping this to see it out there. So,
So I don't need to hear that. I'm okay with it.
is that a motion?
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
Public comment?
while you're on that subject, can I just state that we did get the 10,000 from Time Warner Cable for
That's
the
awesome.
equipment.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep, so I sent them an email a couple weeks ago. She finally responded and said it's in the mail and we got it Monday.
Do we want to set a date for that increase to come in effect?
Yeah,
July 1?
July 1, set the date.
Public comment? None. Unfinished business? None. New business? None. Capital expenditures? None. Feels like a June meeting. Correspondence, the Providence Lake Association, they're having their breakfast on July 5th. Is that at the golf course or?
It's Remick Road.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
a-
trying to figure out where that is.
On the bottom of the hill when you hit the lake on the right-hand side.
We've got 2 tickets to breakfast
Yeah.
here.
So if you
Oh,
guys
no
are interested,
way.
yes, free tickets.
I'm not a fan of hiking, so.
I can't make it,
That's the
I would go,
5th, Saturday.
yeah.
They may like you.
I know, I thought you would normally
Skipping
go.
away.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
you've
I
been
would
involved with
normally
there.
go, but my weekends are booked.
Yeah, it's felt good. Good, they've really gotten together and they're really pushing through pretty good as a vibrant association. Public comment number 2, last chance, liaisons.
Go once.
I didn't know if I should bring this up or not, but,
You're in the liaison, so go ahead.
okay. Boggs Lake was upset with our, taking money away and giving it to Bello. And I just wanted to reiterate, a lady called me and I told her that she would have to be put on the agenda and come here and discuss it with us, but that we had used all the money.
Yeah.
And she said, well, take it out of the, what did I say it was? Unexpected expenses. And I said, oh, I don't think that's gonna work. But anyway,
How much did Balch ask for?
5,
5,000?
you got 2.5.
yeah.
Oh, they made a call for that. And
Yeah.
how much was Bella looking for?
Oh, 2, they were looking for a lot
That's
more.
16.
Which is going to lead into Balch, so if Bello doesn't fix their problem,
right.
it's making Balch worse and worse and worse, so,
And Bello has more of a problem
yeah.
than Balch too.
Yeah.
And Bello
Balch
cannot
has-
get, grants or anything
Yeah.
like that, so.
Private, no
And we
action.
allowed,
No,
Private
we
mandate.
allowed the whole group of them to make their own decision.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And it just so happened that
And
Paul
Linda
Slade guy, they didn't have a
left.
great representation because they left.
yeah,
And
Linda
Bal-
came up
Balch
with
is-
this plan,
Yeah.
and we thought that, well, that's good.
Balch has two
Even-
other towns to draw from too. They may not be as giving as this town, but they've got other resources.
state.
In another state. I know the state's not very giving, but
Yeah,
neither one of them was. I think you guys did the right thing.
We just didn't have any money. We didn't
No.
have enough to give them. So I asked them to make their own decision.
Yeah.
And we'll try to compensate with them.
Yeah.
And they did. There was as much as 50 of them in here.
Yeah.
Or maybe not 50, but there was a
30.
full
Seen it.
crowd.
Probably,
Seen it.
30.
Seen it.
Yeah.
And they all applauded when it was over, so it seemed to be done.
yeah.
And I've heard from Bello already, and it's on their radar to meet with me end of August, first part of September, to kind of give us an idea of what funds they will need to
To
be
go
put
in the budget.
into next year's
Yeah.
budget.
Good.
And that's what we
Yeah.
told them.
And I mean, they could come in and say, this project's gonna cost us 20,000, we can say, well, we'll put 5 aside for you.
Mm.
Or we want it done sooner, let's hit it at 40.
Yeah.
And it'll be what's up with the budget season, that time of year.
Yeah.
But it is getting them, and we've started to get them a little closer to work with us prior to budgeting.
I
Yeah.
think we do very well to help as much as that we
I think
can.
so, too.
You know, and that's what the people wanted them to
Yeah,
have this
yeah.
year, so
But I
next
can
year we can ask for
understand,
more.
I can understand Balch, when they left, they thought they were getting the 5. So I can understand they'd be a little upset.
There was
but-
only one person here from
Yeah, and he
Yeah, that
had to
was-
leave,
that
he
was
had
it.
another commitment.
I know, yeah.
So-
That was the factor, is that they,
Yeah.
and then they're rolling full of people left.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of a
And there was
stacked
nobody
deck
here
there.
from Pine River
But they
Pond.
didn't get what they wanted either.
No,
So
oh,
everybody, and
absolutely
then,
not.
and then.
It's kind of even out.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Schreifer,
Yeah.
she gave up
Yeah,
some
1,500.
to help them. So I think, all in all, the whole group made the decision, and we stand by it.
Yep.
Good job.
So, I thought I'd bring it up and we'd talk about it because I see nobody's here. And they
Good.
were very, upset about it, so.
Other than that,
So we've taken that into consideration, we're standing by what we did.
Yep. Good job.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt at the wrong time.
That's kind of a liaison.
Yeah, yeah. You all set on your side?
Yeah.
Letter of appreciation.
Who you thinking, Connie?
I'm thinking I'm gonna let you guys.
Oh,
I had a couple of names and truthfully I forgot them, I didn't write them down.
What about Lino? He does an awful lot, gives an awful lot.
He does?
I think so. Doesn't he,
I don't know much about him or
I don't
anything.
know. I don't know.
he always has a lot of events and things for the town Republicans and the town things that he has in that thing. He's always donating to the town. I mean, it would be more just a thank you and appreciation letter.
I don't
It
have a
seems
problem
like
with that.
Seems like a guy that's always involved and stuff.
he definitely helps the Parks and Recs a lot.
He does. He does an awful lot right here in the middle of the
You know,
community.
and then he does have his things down at the ball fields for the fireworks. Obviously, he's making money off of that,
Yeah,
but he's
that's
going
good.
down,
Yeah.
and I know he's helped Dwayne with things down
But
there
it's
before.
somebody kind of different.
Yeah. That's a good
Yep.
idea.
Okay.
Town administrator update.
Just on the list. Let's see, I have the warrant of the unlicensed dogs.
Oh, I'm not on there anymore. I just made it through.
No dogs, or you paid?
No, I paid just the other day, that's it.
Fred been knocking on the door.
This is the list from the old computer system she had.
Yep.
She's now on a new system, so what she did is just cross off the ones that have paid now, because they didn't take this list and put it with the new software. The guy was on vacation when Interware was here, so she's manually putting those in now.
So, she's with Interware?
She's with Interware now with dogs, her point of sale.
So what is it that they want us to do about it?
Every year you have to sign a warrant for unlicensed dogs that goes to the animal control officer, who then in turn has to get in touch with all these people. And if they don't respond by such and such a time, they get a $25 civil forfeiture fine. And then he needs to give another updated list to the board by August 31st of what has now happened, which is.
But he's gonna earn his pay this month.
Yeah,
It looks like quite a few.
There's a lot
It is
on
every
there.
year.
I know.
Yeah, every year.
I
this seems to
understand.
be.
It
Now,
took-
some
it
of them
took
might
me
have
a while
moved,
to
they
just
might
do it
have,
because
yeah.
it's just, they had the clinic down here, so I ran down here to get
Oh.
one of the
did you?
dogs. One of the dogs vaccinated, but I mean.
And that's
that
what happens
clinic is
sometimes, you
great
just
'cause it
can't
was
do
15,
this.
10
Right.
bucks. How
Right.
can you beat that?
Right, you can't.
Save
And
me
you
to
don't
go
pay
over
the
to
office
Broadview
visit,
and-
yeah.
yeah,
So, I guess,
yeah. it's going
Yeah, the
to-
clinics are definitely a good thing to take advantage of,
wicked.
and a lot don't, unfortunately, but,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's that to move the warrant?
Yeah.
Second.
Aye. What else do you have?
And then Victor Becker has been working with Carolyn Singer, the grant writer for,
Don't you?
yeah, she does the LCHIP grant writing. She's working for the Opera House. So they're in the process of submitting another one. I had sent you a brief summary of what it is that they're hoping to get, which is to do major improvements in the theater lighting in the Opera House, which none of us have money for. So they are asking if the board would be in favor of them submitting this LCHIP grant.
How do we get money when there is no money? I don't understand that.
You mean the grants?
Yeah, I mean, when the state says there's no money, how do you get these grants to it? So, do we have to do something for this?
L-chips put into the state budget. Yeah, I forget what they were.
Does that come from the
That's
gas tax, right?
No, that's from
No,
license
that's
plate.
License
Oh, yeah,
plates?
that's the
Yeah,
That's money
license
comes from?
plate.
They have the license plate.
Okay, so it's
License
not
plate.
money,
Years.
it's not money like that we're borrowing or?
No.
No, people voluntarily when they buy conservation plates,
They,
they
we
pay
got an
extra.
LCHIP grant, I believe it was for the curtain? Is it for the curtain?
There was quite a bit.
Or something up there, and, yeah.
But that's what it's for, it's like restoring old school houses or,
Mhm.
you know,
Conservation land they'll get into too. Forest.
renovating town halls.
They've applied for the past couple of years on different various things, and they have not
We haven't
received.
got it for a while,
Yeah.
so.
I just, you know, I have a hard time thinking that money just comes for free. I just never seen that, you know?
I will tell you that with the LCHIP, Victor does have to do a synopsis every year about the building, about what's been going on, take a picture of the plaque that's hanging up on the, so you do have a reporting system that you definitely do have to do.
He has to do a lot of work to get it, that's for
It's
sure.
state or federal, I'm not really sure if any of this is federal money, but, you know, you definitely gotta do reporting. And that's generally what you have to do here.
I make a motion that we accept Victor bond for this township.
I'll second it. More discussion, all in favor? Aye.
I'll say aye with
Reservation.
under.
You can vote no.
This actually.
No, I'm
is just
okay, as
once.
long as it's
probably
coming
okay.
out of,
And she
we're
said
not
to just
having
sign
to pay it
both
back and.
as the owner of the property and as the
It's just
governing
applying for
body.
the grant, we haven't accepted it.
So you need to sign this,
Yeah.
you need to sign both, she
And then
said.
we want to print it too.
Here you go.
And the only other thing I have is Fred's been, you know, figuring out how to redesign the highway area down there as far as like, you know, removing some scrap metal that's down there, getting the lean-to ready for the people that are gonna be able to obtain sand by just throwing into the pickup and just kind of reconfiguring the area. And he has a bunch of scrap metal, which a few years ago we did the same thing and they hauled it down to a scrap yard and got dollars for it. And he just wanted me to double check with the board that that was okay if they hauled all this kind of stuff away.
Yeah.
Old culverts, he has a couple old plows that are rusted that they just wanna clean up the yard. I didn't think it would be a problem, but
They just picked up the metal at the transfer station. You know, I'm worrying enough to just solve the whole bunch of.
Yeah.
right.
You don't miss much, do you?
I know, like, I didn't know that.
By the way, thank you for Ryan's Road.
Oh, yeah.
I was just gonna talk about about that.
Oh, okay.
Boy, it's looking nice.
It's looking really
Yeah.
good.
And they've got still some more work to do, but, yep.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be back the first of next week to do
Yep.
that. So you're okay with them taking metal down there?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we get money, obviously it does cost us to go down there.
They'll print
and
out a
write it,
receipt
But
for
they'll
it
print out a
and-
receipt, and then we generally get a check after that. But,
Yep.
Yep, they're on, so Rhinesboro has been paved, they're gonna come back and talk to Warren at the transfer station. They, in 2 weeks, will be up in Bonneman Road to fix the catch basin and the drainage pipe, Toll Farm Road, Bonneman Road access. I think that's all I have.
So, transfer station needs to get on to the repairing the walls and the paving, because the paving is gonna be done on top, so he'll have to look into that.
He needs to look into, yeah, what they're gonna do with the wall for the paper and
Yep.
all that kind
If
of.
he wants me to go over it with him or whatever, just have him give me a call.
Okay.
You think you're gonna go there?
I can't.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
I'll have to
she's
make-
thinking, she's
I'll just have to
readjusting it.
make, some other arrangements, because I think somebody should be there.
I'm not in town.
Yeah, well,
I'll be
I
in,
probably wasn't gonna be in town,
Where
but
you
that's okay.
I gotta be in
Go out
Woodstock.
of town the next
I
day.
gotta travel to Woodstock.
Because Lynn told me it
So I
can't
gotta go for
be
that week. So, 'cause
I was
I
going to
leave
Apple
on
Valley.
the 15th of Jamaica.
Woodstock, New Hampshire, or
Woodstock, New Hampshire.
Eight.
Staying at the...
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't
You
know where
and
this
the
place
guys or the
is.
family?
No, guys, I'm leaving the
That doesn't
5th,
look familiar,
that
the only thing I've ever seen.
that afternoon, that night, because I got started on
It
6.
says Remick
Yeah.
Road.
Sunday,
So
Monday.
where's
Oh, in
Remick Road?
Effingham, so Remick Road in Effingham. I thought that was Effingham when they were working today. I think it's off of Bonneman, but I'm
Yeah.
not positive.
Remick Road is the
Isn't it?
campground, be,
Right.
up just on the Effingham side.
That's what I thought.
Take the right at the other backside of the lake, where the campground is. There's
But you
a-
take Bonneman to get up
Take
there all the way
Bonneman,
to
go
the,
right
all
to
the way
the end,
through, yeah.
where it
That's what I
changes
thought.
from Effingham to Wakefield, there's the dirt road. Once you get on the dirt road, just up there on the right is Remick Road.
So Bonnyman goes around the corner and out towards the point?
Yep, just keep going, you go by the lake and keep going once you hit the dirt, because Wakefield is town. Once you hit the
Okay.
dirt, that's
Yeah,
Effingham, and then it's just up there on the right, you can't miss it.
Okay. I will go.
Down that road, I'm not positive, I can't recall seeing that building. That looks like an old store,
Yeah, it does.
like a storefront, so I
There used to
can't
be a store
recall.
out there, I think.
Something,
Yeah.
I can't recall.
I haven't been out there for years.
I've been out there for last month, and I ain't seen
I
it.
have not been out there for years.
Into the darkness, the dark jungle of Effingham.
What else you got?
Building permit? Oh, I don't have anything for mine.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm all done.
Building permit releases. Where we going?
Robin Hood.
Really? 272 Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm. Motion carried.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Payment
Oh, right.
manifest.
Okay. I think that he'll be busy. Because he wasn't going with me to Apple Valley.
Oh.
Going down to the train station.
That's right, this weekend it opened.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to
Treasurer's
mention
warrant 21, 2014 for $438,236.72.
Motion carried.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I did forget to mention that I have this from Victor. This is the original plans from 2008. We have a very large version here. but,
Yeah.
He just thought, I'm gonna leave it in my office for a while, if you ever wanna stop in. This is the full plans of what is supposed to be done with this building. And it kinda gives you a guideline of where we're at and where we're moving. So, I haven't really looked, but it's all the sketches of
Of this
the
whole building?
building.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
and
lot.
the way that this floor was supposed to be configured if it ever got changed, the egress on the outside, out beyond my office. So It's an interesting
You got some studying to do.
thing, yeah.
Let us know how you do.
Yeah.
Payroll warrant number 13, $62,218.30.
Motion to carry.
Oh, we're making payroll.
Second.
All in favor? Minutes from June 28th, May 28th, and June 2nd, and June 11th. I'll make a motion for the May 28th.
Second?
Second?
and-
Charlie, you can't, you weren't there.
Wasn't that one?
No.
No, we skipped that one.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will stay out of it.
All right, all in favor on the May 28th, aye?
Aye.
June 2nd, I'll make a motion on June 2nd.
Second?
No, Connie?
Yeah,
Wow.
she stays on this one.
Yeah, it's just me, I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
And somebody make a
Abstain.
motion on June 11th.
I'll make a motion on June 11th. Me and Connie,
Yep, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anything else?
The non-public, do you do that?
We don't
No,
have
it's
anything.
needed.
It's just
No,
part,
it's part of the minutes, Charlie.
Okay,
For no, fine. Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn,
All right.
second.
Which one of
Thank
the
you for
drawing
coming.
not signed? I signed this one.
she has the line, see if there's a line.